And our track action this evening starts with the women's 400 metres. 3 semi-finals. Non-starter, unfortunately, Joyce Sakari, the Kenyan who set a personal best in her heat. So she must have suffered some mishap there. They go in the first of the semi-finals. Hastings running hard in that blind outside lane. And Johnny Miller in lane 6 has got a good start with Christine Day. Not much to choose between them at the moment. Grenot has picked up a little bit on Ruby and Gay immediately either side of her, but Hastings still running strongly on that outside lane. And in the middle, Day in 5 and Miller in 6. Day in the Jamaican colours, just gaining a little ground on Miller now. Hastings also in there. It's these three, I think, who are going to come into the straight pretty much abreast. The centre lane athletes, though, getting a bit of an advantage now. The much taller Miller being challenged by Christine Day of Jamaica, but Miller now coming through, and Miller goes well clear of the rest of the field. An impressive turn of speed there. Then Day and Grenot getting third place, with Gay fourth, and Hastings, who went out so hard, slipping back to fifth there. And the winning time, a very good one.
Really good performance there from the young Bahamian. She actually ran quite steadily for the first 150, and that may well have been one of the reasons why she pulled away from Christine Day and the rest of the field so impressively. She was easing up before the line, but still stripping distance. She was already glancing round at this stage. 50.12, that was an excellent performance. Christine Day, 50.82. Grenot was third. Natasha Hastings drifted out to fifth, but she looked a little bit off colour in the heats, which is why she found herself in lane 9 in the first place.
.400 metres won by Shawnee Miller in 50.12 from Day 50.82. They're the two who go through to the final.
Now to the second semi-final in the women's 400 metres. We have the reigning Commonwealth champion McPherson in 6 and the defending world champion Uhuragu in 7. So who will be first into their running? Uhuragu traditionally starts fairly steadily. Francis going well, already making up ground on Gaillot, the Frenchwoman in the red. And McPherson closing in on Christine Uhuragu. Going well, second from the outside is George. And a good run from Carlin Muir on the inside. George, the Nigerian. Christine Uhuragu now has McPherson on her shoulder. And the American Phyllis Francis with some work to do on the inside. It's McPherson, George and Uhuragu now starting to come through as she has a habit of doing, and also Phyllis Francis making a desperately late charge to get in the mix. It's Uhuragu from McPherson. Francis finished very quickly, but she'll have to wait to see if she goes through as the fastest loser. And once again, Christine Uhuragu is proving that she brings her best to the major occasions.
In so many of the athletes, they come here without the sort of form that you'd expect. But Christine Uhuragu there just shows her, this is where she's so strong. This last 100 metres, she has the power and she has the ability to come back at athletes and work her way through like she did here, and actually in the end win comfortably. Well, that's good for her, because not only is that the best time so far, but that's also going to give her a good lane draw for the final.
Yes, that's absolutely crucial. The finish from Francis may well see her through as a fastest loser, 50.50, and Patience George with a personal best, 50.76. A really good quality semi-final there. The defending world champion is rounding into form with perfect timing. McPherson second, Francis and George may well have a chance to go through as fastest losers.
Well, we're coming up now to the last of these semi-finals, and obviously one to watch is the great Alison Phoenix from the United States there, going in lane 7. Well, 3 Olympic golds just in London 2012 alone. Winner of 8 World Championship titles. cleanly away. Well, Ayers the Phoenix has shot off there, and she is storming around the first bend. She's closed up on Mupopo on the outside of her fairly comfortably indeed. On the inside there, Jackson is catching up her teammate, Williams-Mills, also going well. Those two in the middle of our picture at the moment. But it looks at the moment as if Alison Phoenix is storming away. The two Jamaicans are closing the gap now, Jackson and Williams-Mills, as they come around that bend. On the inside there, it is Jackson at the moment that leads coming into the final straight. One on the outside, Phoenix also running well. Phoenix just stretching out a little bit more now. Jackson trying to challenge her down the home straight. On the inside, Unura also running well for Great Britain. Jackson is trying to do it, but you can see that in the end, it's just Phoenix just opening her legs a little bit more, and the stride leg just carrying her through. So comfortable. Look at that time, 49.91.
Well, it was a fantastic display, really. She went off so very, very hard. She seemed to me to ease a little bit round the bend. Felix looking absolutely magnificent here, and really does set us up as the favourite. And a new personal best by Jackson behind her as well.
Marvellous run from Alison Phoenix, and looking so comfortable. Can this woman dip under that 49 seconds in the final? We'll have to wait and see. She is capable, I think, of running so much faster. There it is, the winning time, 49.89.
Looks in the semi-final. Felix, the one under 50 seconds, a whole lot just outside. And Williams-Mills and Francis, the two next on times. So we now come to the men's 200 metres. First round. And of course, you know who will be running in these series of races. The world record holder himself, Usain Bolt, 1919. And there's the lineup for the first of them. The biggest name there, the American Isaiah Young, second in the US Championships. Just a semi-finalist 2 years ago, but he'll certainly be hoping to do better than that this time. So certainly Young's fast, but he's way past those men on his outside rather. The main challenge likely to come from Guliev, who's running quite well, and also on the inside Fujimitsu in the Japanese vest. Well, Fujimitsu is going ahead, and Young is only, well, he's out of it. Now that's amazing.
Young was sixth. He won't be going through to the semi-finals.
Fine run though by Guliev. He's smashed the national record. He's run 20.01, and Fujimitsu, who was always prominent, 20.28, and then Menya getting the vital third spot. Young is out of it. Well, there was the finish. As I say, Guliev was a hugely promising youngster, second in the world U's, and now at last beginning to fulfill that promise, and a new Turkish record there of 20.01. And Fujimitsu was impressive, Menya getting third, with the shock being Isaiah Young being eliminated.
Second heat of the men's 200 metres. First three plus three fastest losers. So who makes the best start? Well, I see Panamanian running absolutely brilliantly there. He's dragging Takasi with him. Alonso Edward is so good round the bends, but just needs to keep it going here as Chirande Martina comes through for the Netherlands. Lemaitre trying to make a move into third. And that's the order in which they finished. Edward from Martina, from Lemaitre. Those are the three automatic qualifiers. Edward ran a brilliant bend, and that enabled him to ease up a little bit in the home straight. But Martina showing some decent form coming through for second. Alonso Edward continuing a good season, takes that one. Martina second, Lemaitre third. Takasi has the opportunity to go through as the fastest loser, but quite a few heats still to come.
Well, this is the next heat coming out onto the track, and the great man himself, Usain Bolt. Fabulous run in that 100 metres under pressure. It really was, I think, and so do some of my co-commentators here that was probably one of his best runs of his career to actually come out and produce the goods here at the World Championships. Now 9 World Championships and 6 Olympic golds. World record at both the 2 and the 100 metres since 2008. Well, he's only run about 2 or 3. We've just been looking through the books. Only run about 2 or 3 fairly low-key 200 metres so far this year. Here we are. That's the lineup. So the men to watch really: Usain Bolt in 4, Robert Skyers in 6. No problems with the start. They're away now. Bolt's going so fast now, catching up Placius on his outside. Past him now, onto the shoulders almost of Skyers, just on his outside. He's about 3 or 4 metres clear. Reese, the German, on the inside's going well as well. But look at this man, he's just easing down. Jogging through the line. It's Bolt. Skyers, as we thought, taking second. And maybe I think it was Reese of Germany in third. Wow. An exhibition run, really, from this man, wasn't it? 20.28.
All at a canter. Nice finish from Skyers, who left it a little bit late. But considering how few 200s Bolt has had this season and how average he's looked in them by his own huge standards, that was better. And he will have taken a huge amount of confidence after the season he's had from having beaten Justin Gatlin. I think in years to come, he may look back on that as one of his finest victories, despite it being one of the narrowest margins that he's had en route to gold. But he was miles clear and taking his foot off the gas with about 60 metres to go.
Yeah, that was Bolt at his best, really. He looked very, very good. Usain Bolt there with the winning time of 20:28. Skyers and Martinez going through there to the next round of that 200 metres. Well, from one man to the next big man in the 200 metres.
Yes, heat 4. Justin Gatlin goes in lane 3 here. The man from Iran, Abragi, the national record holder, doesn't start. So Gatlin, rather like Boyd, should have a nice run out here. So let's see how Gatlin goes. Well, he's off. He's away. He's running in lane 3. Even Ashmead is being left behind him. This is another tour de force for Gatlin. Sunny Brown running well on the outside, but it's Gatlin running away from the field. Who's going to get the next 2 spots? Ashmead looks good, and Sunny Brown also, I think, and it is just that order. In fact, it was very close between the Japanese and the Jamaican, either side of the track, but no doubt about the winner, Justin Gatlin, at a similar time to what we saw before. It's 20.19, originally came up on the photo cell time there, and Justin Gatlin also having a nice workout, having switched from the 100 to the 200. Yes, officially 20.19.
He ran a brilliant, brilliant bend, and that enabled him to ease back in the last 20 or 30 metres. Fantastic run from the 16-year-old Sunny Brown of Japan. He came through for the 2nd spot. Mikael Ashmead, well, you said at the beginning, Peter, he hasn't had a brilliant season, Ashmead. He's just on the top of the picture there in the yellow vest. He did take the 3rd automatic spot, but only just. The fast-finishing Kanata of Kenya. We'll have to wait to see if he goes through as a fastest loser.
And there's the confirmation of that performance. What did you say? Sunny Brown for Japan coming through with that great run for 2nd place. Ashmead, well, he's not at his best, as you say, but he's still qualified there in 3rd place. I'll get back now to the 5th heat of the men's 200 metres.
So a pretty quick start there from Julian Fort. No move yet from Zarnell Hughes, but that stagger's going to take a little while to unfold. He's got some running to do, the Briton, and now he's coming through. But good runs at the moment from Fort and Rodney of Canada going well. Zarnell Hughes now coming through on the inside. Hughes, I think, takes it just from Fort. Pretty close for 3rd. Brendan Rodney, the semi-finalist in the Commonwealth Games last year, had got himself there or thereabouts. Well, 20.15 Hughes and Fort running well there, but Hughes did leave that a little bit late. Now, he's a tall guy, and running in 2 is a very, very tight lane. Hughes has taken it 21.3. Fort second, 21.6, and Rodney just pipping Simbin on the line. Good run from the Canadian. Zarnell Hughes taking this 5th heat. Fort in second, Rodney third. Simbin with a personal best. He should go through as the fastest loser. Good run by the Samoan as well in 5th.
Well, the lineup now for this 6th heat in the men's 200 metres, and a real big disappointment, really. Wallace Spearman, United States, one of the big favourites for this event. Obviously not starting, so that's a disappointment already. The gun goes. Not much to choose between them, really. Maybe we're just slightly ahead as they come into the straight on the outside of the lane there. Sakonis also going well. Also going well there, Talbot of Great Britain in the middle of our picture at the moment. But it's Weir just edging ahead of Sakonis or not. No, Sakonis coming through. They're very relaxed in the end. Weir in 2nd place and Talbot getting that 3rd place. Well, there's the result of that heat 6. Sakonis coming through to take it from Robert Weir. Daniel Talbot come through in the end for 3rd.
But there's one more heat, the 7 heats of the 200 metres in all. And an interesting lineup here with Ogunogi of Qatar and Jobodwana, who of course was a finalist last time. The South African who missed a season last year, but is back in very good form indeed. Oh, a full start. That's the first one we've had today.
It did look indeed as though there was a big flash of yellow across the camera from lane 7.
Way below, but way before the, it's a minus reaction time. He's way ahead. So away they go, second time of asking, and Ogunodi has certainly got off a very good start indeed, and he's up on Grow. But in those centre lanes, Jobodwana and Brown having quite a tussle. They're used to getting with Ogunodi, but here he comes now. Jobodwana of South Africa is going to win this, or is he? Jobodwana looks across at Ogunodi, and then on the inside, Francis was certainly in contention there with Brown, and 20.23 there. It's one of those races when they just look at each other and a little bit of who's the champion there. But Jobodwana, in fact, has got the verdict, 2022. Ogunodi, 2025. And she it was for 3rd. Yeah, I slightly missed that. 2037, national record for China. Well, first of all, there's confirmation of the last race in the 200. Jobodwana and Ogunodi, but look at that. She disqualified. He must have run inside his lane, so loses that Chinese record and 3rd spot. And that means that Guliev heads the 200 metres in the first round heat. We can't read too much into that, but it's a good set of first round times, certainly, in the great Usain Bolt. Going through very nicely in 2028. It's no significant, there's a lot of men faster than him, but very sad for the young Chinese athlete. The final of the men's 400-metre hurdles is next on track. Well, let's see whether the Americans can do better in the 400 hurdles. That's the lineup. Capello, Dobek, Machado Tumuti, Tinsley, Kudryavtsev, Gibson, Clement and Bett. So on the inside here is Yamani Capello, the Cuban who's made massive progress since he translated to Turkey and has been smashing the Turkish record, including here when he ran 48.89 in his first round and then 48.46 in his semi-final. Patrick Dobek of Poland, highly promising 21-year-old European under-23 champion after 2nd in the European team competition. Boniface Machado Tumuti from Kenya smashed his personal best by running 48.29 in his semi-final, Kenyan champion and second in the Kenyan trials. 2 Kenyans in this field. Michael Tinsley, who was the runner-up last time, runner-up at the Olympic Games also, twice US champion. He goes in the middle, in lane 5. Michael Tinsley, 47.70, personal best. Then we have the very impressive 23-year-old Russian, Denis Kudryavtsev, European bronze medal last year, but really made big strides through this year. And he ran 48.23, personal best in his semi-final. 7 has the Pan American Games champion from Bahamas. He ran a Bahamian record of 48.37 in his semi-final. Now vastly experienced, twice the world champion, competing in his 6th World Championships, Keron Clement from the USA. Personal best came 10 years ago with 47.24. And then we have Nicholas Bett, who looked brilliant, I must say, in his first round heat. Took his best to 48.29 earlier this year in Kenya. Previously it was 49.03, massive improvement. He looks really good. Didn't quite get his stride pattern right in the semi-final, but he was one of 5 of this field who has set personal bests already in the preliminary rounds. And this is Clement, the man who's been there and done it before, twice the world champion. But those are a little while ago now, 2007 and 2009. Capello of Turkey, Dobek of Poland, Dumuti of Kenya, Tinsley, United States, Kudryavtsev of Russia, Gibson, Bahamas, Clement, the second man from the United States, and Bett, the second man from Kenya. USA have been dominant at this event in World Championships history. No less than 7 champions, 4 silver and 2 bronze. Can they keep up that sort of record? Kenyan best place is 5th. There's Tinsley. The final of the men's 400-meter hurdles. Michael Tinsley in the red has certainly got away from the Kenyan on his inside, and he's gaining ground a little bit on Kudryavtsev of Russia, but Kudryavtsev running well and is now gaining on Gibson outside him. So it's Kudryavtsev in 6 and Tinsley in 5, I think, who probably leading at the 200-meter point. The Russian in the blue is running a splendid bend as well. Outside him, Clement and Bett also going okay, but it's Kudryavtsev of Russia with Clement from the United States, the old experienced protector. Tinsley having problem at that hurdle. Kudryavtsev is still in the lead, but right on the outside it's Bett of Kenya, and Bett running strongly but stutters a little bit into that hurdle. It's all to play for, but it's still Bett who's coming through. Bett, the Kenyan, takes it. Kudryavtsev dips for 2nd place. Oh, it's Clement, of course, and the time 47.79.
What an amazing, amazing race. Nicholas Bett was a dark horse in lane 9. He ran brilliantly in the same lane to take his heat. 47.79. At last, he's smashed the long-established Kenyan national record. Tinsley's problems began on the back straight. He clattered a hurdle. It knocked him massively out of rhythm. Kudryavtsev, great run from the Russian. And Jeffrey Gibson just out-dipping Keron Clement on the line, the Bahamian, another national record for him. Absolutely superb. In fact, all first 3 athletes have established national records. Clement was 4th. Tinsley's nightmare began on the back straight into the last barrier, and it looked at one stage as though the Russian would run him down, but he showed great strength in the last 20 metres.
I don't think he stuttered so much. He adjusted his stride. I think that was the most important thing.
Very clever, yes.
Yeah, he adjusted it in order to go over it with speed, and that was the major factor, really. Every time he hit those, every time he took his hurdles all the way through, he was adjusting all the time, adjusting his rhythm all the way through the race. He had to. He was on his own out there in lane 9. But coming off the last bend, he knew he had to start maybe accelerating a little bit more, and he adjusted again. That's experience, it really is.
Gold medal in the 400-meter hurdles, going with a fantastic run by Nicholas Bett of Kenya, 47.79. Kudryavtsev of Russia, the silver, 48.05. And Jeffrey Gibson, the Bahamas, holding off the former champion, Keron Clement, by 48.17. National records for each of the first 3. The first of the finals here on day 4 is the women's discus. There's the lineup. We are getting led off by Shanice Kraft, the European under-23 champion, and the US champion, Gia Lewis-Smallwood, and then Caballero throwing 4th in the list, and Sandra Perkovic, the last to throw. First round of the discus. Here's the world leader, Dania Caballero of Cuba. Oh, good speed, good control. Oh, she falls over, but she's got it released well, and it's very close to 70 meters. Well, that certainly throws down a marker for everybody else, including the defending champion, Sandra Perkovic. A terrific throw. The fact that she fell over, she stayed within the circle, which is all important. That didn't matter because that release was all right. Rarely do you see an athlete fall over and yet record a throw such as this. Tremendous start to the discus. Right, it's going to be hard for anyone to match that. No wonder they're happy. 69.28, what a start. Now in the discus, here's Nadina Muller. After Caballero's 69.28, the next best is Shanice Kraft at 61.80. So let's see what Muller can produce. Oh, that's a strong throw indeed. It's over 65 meters. Takes Muller into second place. And pretty close to her season's best, which is 65 meters 72. Tall and strong, and well, that's takes her into the medal contention. All right, no problem about that. So that's an excellent start for her. 65.53. Second to Caballero. Now this is Perkovic coming into this circle in the end of the second round. No other major changes. Danny Samuels has also had a 62.90 though, so she's moved up in the standings. But Perkovic now, like Caballero, a 70-meter thrower this year. It's going over a little to the left, but it's okay. It's still in the sector, but only just in the sector. So just hooking it around a little bit, but nonetheless, that's over 65. Now, we saw, of course, a 65-meter throw from Muller, 65.53. This must be close to it. Taking Perkovic into one of those top 3 positions. Well, Muller taking her last effort. Of course, she was just ahead at the halfway stage. But no improvement. So it'll be a bronze for Nadine Muller with her opening throw of 65 meters 53. So the Germans ending up finishing 3rd Muller, 5th Fischer, 7th Kraft. There's the card for Nadine Muller, the bronze medalist. We've just seen the last throw during that race by Nadine Muller. No improvement for her, so Muller is in 3rd place at 65.53. That at least has to be a target for Sandra Perkovic, a 70-meter thrower, the world's #1 for several years. Her last chance in the discus, way behind Caballero of Cuba. Into that practiced rhythm, out it goes. Just how far? Oh, it's enough to take her up into the silver medal spot. So that's a good clutch performance, but it does not mean gold for Perkovic. However, she has moved from 4th to 2nd with the last throw for her in the competition. And she's pretty relieved by that, as well she might be. Well, it's still 2 meters adrift of the Cuban, but it's a very fine performance, and it's a good competitive effort in coming from behind there, using her experience and keeping cool. And this is 67.39, the silver medal to Sandra Perkovic of Croatia. Doesn't retain her title, but she's done well. Muller, after 6th and 4th in the previous edition of the championships, at last gets a medal. And the gold goes to this woman. Let's just see what she can do at the end. She's really been the class of the competition. 3 throws already over 65 metres, topped with that massive opener of 69.28. Good speed. And it's again over 65. So 4 throws over 65 metres. And a very fitting gold medalist for the Cuban. It's the first time a Cuban has won the gold in this event, after silver medals before. And congratulations all round. Yes, Cuba had, well, 2 bronze medals rather they'd won. Now for the first time they got a world discus title for women. Dania Caballero, 69 metres 28. Sandra Perkovic, silver, 67 metres 39. And Nadine Müller for Germany takes the bronze medal.
Seemingly inconquerable Croatian, having to play second fiddle to the Cuban.
Well, there was the final result of the discus. The gold going to Caballero of Cuba, 69.28. The silver to Perkovic of Croatia, 67.39. And the bronze to Müller of Germany, 65.53.
The big races of the evening, the women's 1500 metres, and in this, the world record holder, Dibaba.
The women's 1500 metre final. How will this be run? Well, the answer to the first part of that question, Sifan Hassan has gone straight to the back, and so too Genzebe Dibaba, and there's a little bit of tripping going on there. It was Tomaszova on the inside clipping the heels of Shannon Robury. Tomaszova's won this twice, but that was a long time ago in 2003 and 2005. And it's Robury and Simpson at the front, but it's all at a canter. They're running way, way within themselves here.
Yeah, they are. I think what's happened is they realise they can't run someone like Dibaba off her feet. So why even bother? What they're trying to do now is just take it easy and hope that it's going to be a last lap finish where they might be a chance of maybe out-sprinting her. But that's gambling, isn't it? It's gambling heavily on the fact that you've got the speed in your legs.
Robury and Simpson in first and second. Aragawi, the defending champions, in fourth. We haven't made much mention of Faith Kipyegon yet. She's the Commonwealth champion. The Kenyan just running in the middle of the field. Genzebe Dibaba not interested in this pace at the moment. It's so slow. But as Steve said, if you're up against someone who can run 350.07, how else do you try and beat her? 67 seconds, so slow.
It is slow.
77, I beg your pardon.
I was going to say, it is so slow that someone's nerve's going to break, really. It'll boil down to an 800-metre race if they're not careful. Muir of Great Britain coming around now. She doesn't want to be left out if it's going to be fast over the last 200 metres. You've got to be very careful in these races. Someone could fall. There's a lot of nervous women out there at the moment, and you could throw a blanket over the whole field, really.
Simpson and Robury at the front, just picking it up a little bit. Well, how could they not with 77 seconds? Laura Muir, she's a gutsy performer. Front ran and won Oslo. Aragawi running in lane 2. Well, and Genzebe Dibaba, Steve, now putting herself in the right position.
Here we go. Yeah, she realises that it's a problem. She moves the head now, and the pace has picked up significantly. You saw there a little bumping and boring going on. Dibaba says, no, this is not enough. Let's start making this a decent race now. After that 77 first lap, she is pouring it on.
Well, the pace is still very slow, but at least that was better. That was 68 seconds. Genzebe Dibaba in the lead. Jenny Simpson in second place, the 2011 champion, and the defending champion, Aragawi, in fourth, as Faith Kipyegon, the Commonwealth champion, comes on the outside into second place. It's Ethiopia, from Kenya, from Sweden. We've got the world record holder, the Commonwealth champion, and the defending champion, first, second, and third. And look at the youngster, Dawit Siyum, the world junior champion from Ethiopia, coming up onto Aragawi's shoulder into third.
And so too is Hassan coming through fast. Now this is it. It's going to be a last lap to remember here in the women's 1500 metres.
Genzebe Dibaba, the world record holder, leads. Faith Kipyegon, the Commonwealth champion, in second. Seyum, the world junior champion, in third. But don't rule out Sifan Hassan, the former Ethiopian, now representing the Netherlands, the European champion. These four with a big margin back to Aragawi, who's not going to defend her world title. Dibaba's pouring on the pace here, 200 metres to go. Kipyegon can't respond at the moment, but Sifan Hassan is coming on the outside. Can the European champion get anywhere close to the world record holder, or has Genzebe Dibaba saved her best till last? Hassan is beginning to close, but Genzebe Dibaba gritting her teeth. She's got the lead she requires here. At last, she's going to add a senior outdoor global title to her collection. A brilliant run. The world record holder becomes the world champion. Kipyegon takes the silver, Hassan the bronze, Seyum is fourth, but they were all second best to the world record holder. She was fed up with the slow pace, she went to the front, and from then on, there was only ever destined to be one winner.
That's a hard way to win a title. From the front, running almost 800 metres on your own. She knew what she had to do. She used her strength and her speed, and in the end, she just kept going further and further away. They tried hard to claw her back, but it's impossible when you're running that fast.
Great result there for Dibaba. So decorated as a junior. World junior champion on the cross-country and on the track. Multiple world record holder indoors. Great embrace between the two rival East African nations. But at last, Dibaba, deservedly so, getting herself a first world senior outdoor title. And what odds on her doubling up in the 5,000 as well.
Well, the winning time in the end, 4:08.09. But if you take away that first lap of 77, that's a very respectable time.
Genzebe Dibaba is the world champion. Faith Kipyegon, the Commonwealth champion, a great silver for her. Hassan, the European champion, has to settle for bronze. Well, a cracking men's long jump final is just about to begin. But plenty in this field who will be ready to challenge him. 3 Chinese athletes take their place in the starting lineup. Menkov down the bottom of that list is the defending champion. Greg Rutherford of Great Britain is the reigning Olympic champion. Now listen to the roar for the world junior champion, Jianan Wang. Fabrice Lapierre, great to see the Australian coming back to something like the form that took him to the world indoor title in 2010. 8:03 in qualification. Then the Commonwealth champion, European champion and Olympic champion from Great Britain, Greg Rutherford, looking for the only title missing from his collection.
And now the Chinese support begins once again for their trio of long jumpers. First of all, Wang again, Rob.
Yes, Jianan Wang is in the lead, courtesy of that 8:14. It's been a pretty poor first round. Quite a few no jumps, including one from Greg Rutherford, the Olympic champion. So 8:14, good enough to lead at the beginning of the second round. And that may be a marginal improvement from the world junior champion. A long, long way to go here, of course, but what a story that would be if a Chinese athlete managed to finish on the podium or on top. They've never done better than 7th before. But A lot of big men struggling to get in their early rhythm here. Even Jeff Henderson's best so far is only 7.95. Bearing in mind he's gone out as far as 8.52 this season. Wang's in the lead, and he extends his advantage by 4 centimetres in the early stages of the second round. Greg Rutherford, the Olympic champion, had a big no jump in the first round. This has been one of the most consistent seasons we've seen from the multiple major championship gold medalist, and that was much better from Rutherford. He's been in excellent form this season. He had a cracking Diamond League at Stockholm, backing up an 8.34 with an 8.32. He's almost certain to go into the lead here. No Briton has ever finished higher than 5th in the World Championship long jump, and that was Rutherford back in Berlin in 2009. 8.29, the Olympic champion has laid down a brilliant marker here in the second round. Fabrice Lapierre, he's living dangerously here. He's 7.85. He's only just at the moment in a position to give himself a further 3 jumps. The former world indoor champion needs to improve here to make sure. Little stutter into the board. Well, that's at least better. Other than Greg Rutherford's 8.29, it's been a fairly low standard, to be honest. The officials just having a look. That plasticines come in for some real close inspection over this World Championship, with Katarina Johnson-Thompson's no jump. Marquis Dendy going out, missing by centimetres. Oh, my goodness me. That was so tight, but that time...
I think we could almost see the indentation there,
Yeah,
couldn't we, actually?
well, I'm not an official, but I would say that's no closer or further away than some of the other jumps that have been given a red flag.
It's almost identical, but I think we could see a mark, though. That's the point.
It looks exactly the same as Dendy and Johnson-Thompson, and they've both gone.
Yep.
Anyway, that did count, and Lapierre has moved up to 8.10. So Greg Rutherford in the lead, courtesy of that second round jump of 8.29. Both the Americans have gone. Is he wrapping up this competition? Oh, it's another great performance from the Olympic champion. He is so good at peaking come the big occasion. Had a tough year in 2013 after winning the Olympic title on home territory, perfect on the board. And last year, in the space of 2 weeks, he showed brilliant maturity to become the Commonwealth and European champion, aiming to become only the 5th Briton to hold all 4 major titles at the same time. Yes, 8.41, he extends his lead. He is just so good when it comes to the major events. Asking the crowd to respond. We knew he was in good form, 8.34 and 8.32 in winning the Stockholm Diamond League. Fabrice Lapierre got himself into the silver medal position with 8.20. He was trying to tackle Greg Rutherford's seemingly unassailable lead of 8.41. Has there been any improvement for the Australian? Brilliant to see him coming back to the podium, benefiting from the Americans' collapse. Remember, Jeff Henderson qualified with 8.36, which at the moment would be good enough for the silver medal, but he only managed to produce 7.95 in qualification, so there were no 3 further jumps for the American. 8.24, Lapierre consolidates his second place. 8.18 in the second round. It's a minimum of a bronze for Wang, which is a fantastic achievement. No Chinese man has previously finished higher than 7th. The World Junior Champion has got himself a World Senior Championship medal, but which colour? No, he was looking for 8.41. It would have been a massive lifetime best. He gets the white flag, but it's utterly irrelevant. Wang finishes as the World Championship bronze medalist, and he's still a teenager. Lapierre 8.24, and Greg Rutherford, having never been higher than 5th in the World Championship before, capitalising brilliantly on the Americans' capitulation at the beginning of this final. He's only the 5th Briton to hold The world, Olympic, Commonwealth and European titles all at the same time. Greg Rutherford completes the set. The Olympic champion, Commonwealth and European champion, is now the world champion. Fabrice Lapierre, the silver, and Jianan Wang, the teenager from China, picks up the bronze.
Wow, we come to one of the most fascinating and eagerly waited races of the evening. The men's 800 metres. Ferguson, Kiprotich of Kenya, who won the trials, he goes in 7. We're looking now at Kip Couture. Just 18 years of age, this boy. 144.07 this year. And he's outside the Moroccan. Again, a youngster, just 21 years of age. African, 3rd in the African Championships, 3rd in the Francophile Games. He's in exalted company here, but he is very, very good. In lane 4, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Amal Turku. Well, he looks so good in qualifying. He comes through so fast, and he has got that fast time, so he can tolerate a fast pace. Well, David Rudisha, what can you say about this man? That absolutely staggering run at the Olympics where he broke the world record and got the gold medal. He is probably the greatest 800-meter runner of all time, really. He's just so casual, so good. As we said, Adam Schott, aptly named this man. He goes like a bullet in the last 100 metres if he's there. Is it going to be too fast for him? He knows he's up against it. The other Kenyan that beat the big man in the trials, Ferguson Rotich, won their trials when David led for 600 metres. He came past him in the home straight. And from France, this very tall Frenchman, Pierre Ambrose-Bossa, French record holder. He's run well so far this year in all the leagues, but I think he knows too it's going to be tough. Right on the outside, Abdurrahman Bala of Qatar, the Asian champion. First in Stockholm, first in Lucerne, so he's in great form too. The men's 800 metres go down. Kip Couture, Batabal, Turco, Rudisha, Schott, Rotich, Bosse, Bala. On the inside, it looks as if the young Kenyan Alfred Kip Couture is going hard, but there's not much to choose between them. They break over the back straight for the first time. Rudisha just easing his way maybe to the front. And he does. He's trying to hold it at the moment. And his teammate, Rotich, just shadowing him now. Kenya 1 and 2. David languid in the inside there, not as fast as we'd expect, so he is not going to go hard all the way.
It's the kind of race that gets the hairs on the back of your neck standing to attention. Rudisha's at the front, but he's running comfortably, running within himself. Rotich in second, the fastest man in the world this year. Tuka at the back, not interested in this at the moment. And Bala trying to make his presence felt on the outside.
Okay, it's slow. 54.15. Now it's going to start winding up over the back straight. They cannot afford to leave it until the last 100 metres. Rudisha would just, I think, fend off any attack that comes onto his shoulder. And at the moment, it is just his teammate.
It's Rudisha down the back straight, the Olympic champion, the world record holder. But on his shoulder, Rotich, and look at Adam Schott. He's trying to find a gap on the inside, but it wasn't there.
No, it wasn't. Rudisha kept him at bay. Rudisha now pushing hard. Those long strides coming ahead. His teammate, Rotich, is on his shoulder. At the moment, it's now David Rudisha pulling ahead. Schott is there. Coming fast is Tuka, but I don't think he's coming fast enough. David is doing it. He's moving away. Schott is in second place. Tuka's coming through fast in the end for the 3rd place. But the big man does it. That wonderful last lap again. The arms go aloft. 1:44.84.
A great, great run from David Rudisha. Yes, he ran it his traditional way, hitting the front, but it was slow enough at the bell, 54 seconds. He ran the second lap in 51 plus change, and the significant moment, Steve, down the back straight, Adam Schott went for a gap that wasn't there. Rudisha held the inside line. A great second place for Adam Schott, the European champion, following that up with a brilliant global silver. Tuka gets the bronze, but today belonged to David Rudisha. He regains the crown he won in 2011, and once again, the world record holder is on top of the planet.
Fantastic run from David. Schott's lucky, really, because he pushed this man at that 200-metre mark. If he'd have knocked him over or damaged David on that 200-metre mark, he may have been DQ'd. But David is so big, so strong. Schott just literally bounced off him back onto the track.
A brilliant bronze medal for Tuka. I don't think he'll be disappointed with that. He's slowly worked his way through the ranks. Bronze in the European under-23s 2 years ago, 6th in the European final last year, upgrading to World Championship bronze. That's a great advance, and he showed tactical awareness here in the final, as he did in the heat and the semis. But let's take nothing away from Rudisha. That was brilliant.